Hey guys, welcome back to Anxious Brain Central. It's hot as fuck outside. Just wanted to point that out. I'm sweating. I just walked on a trail. Um, yeah. So some things I'm gonna talk about today. I wrote a list, but I'm gonna use my brain because I didn't bring my iPad with me to read the list. So since I'm recording on my phone, I can't really look at it because I didn't think to do that. So I was gonna talk about some things that I didn't realize were ADHD before I got diagnosed with ADHD, because my whole life I was essentially being told, like, oh, you're just being lazy, or oh, you're just not good at school, or because it's very hard for women to get diagnosed with ADHD. I need fucking chapstick. I'm sorry. Give me like a second. Excuse the crustiness. Um, because when I was younger, I didn't have like the hyperactive boy jump all over the place bullshit. I had the I can't do math no matter how much you fucking help me, no matter how much tutoring I get, no matter how much anything. Or Another thing that would happen is after I did anything, like even if it was just like going to the store with my mom, I would have to go take like a 3 hour nap afterwards. And like, what the fuck did I do? I walked around the store for a half an hour. Like, why the fuck? And then after school, I never understood people who could do after school activities. Like, I would literally go home and sleep until like 7 o'clock, or else I couldn't do my homework. I just thought there was something wrong with me. And, the doctors were like, oh, like, she's fine. Maybe you got some anxiety, maybe you got some depression. Here's some meds for that. Got diagnosed at 24 officially. And some things that I didn't know were ADHD were, just like I said, the sleeping, like the exhaustion. And the way they kind of describe it to me is this: think of somebody with ADHD has like a little baby's plate, like a plate where they eat their fucking mush on. And most normal people's plate is like a full size dinner plate. So the things that we can put on this tiny, oops, my watch, the things we can put on this tiny plate, much less than someone who can put it on this giant plate. And I never understood that. Like, I would do one activity and be like, LOL, I'm done. Like, I can't do anything else. And everybody's like, oh my God, you're such a party pooper. I'm like, I literally am exhausted. And that's also because our brains cannot filter out everything. So we're constantly thinking about shit. And one little like activity for us is not just one little activity. There's everything that goes into it. Like for me, it's laundry. Doing laundry is like pulling teeth, because the way my therapist described it is we see all of the steps to do the thing. It's not like, okay, let me go just put the shit in the washer. It's like, no, I have to get up. I have to get everything in the laundry basket. I have to take the laundry basket downstairs. I have to open, you know what I mean? Like there's steps, and that is overwhelming, and we're just like, I don't want to do it. And that's also why we start projects and don't finish them, because look at all these steps to start the project. I have to get the project out. I have to do it. Then I have to put it away. And what if I don't finish? And then that stresses you out. So I also never understood why I didn't understand school. And that's because along with my ADHD, I have a slow processing disorder. So essentially, like, especially in college, when they're lecturing for 2 hours, I can pay attention by the first half an hour and then I'm checked out. Like, there's no checking me back in. And I hate the professors that are like, okay, this is like a 2 hour lecture, let's take a break. No, like, let's not take a break, because once we take that break, I can't come back. Like, I might as well go home. Let's pretend I'm in bio, since that's hell for me. Teachers like, this is a part of the cell and blah 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 blah. And then she's like, okay, now we're going to talk about the nucleus. And in my head, I'm still on, okay, this is a part of the cell. So then I get behind and I miss everything, and that also makes me check out, because I'm like, I'm tired of fucking trying to catch up all the time, so I'm just going to give the fuck up. All right, y'all, I'm a little crooked, but I had to turn my vehicle on. It's fucking hot. Another thing is organization. I always had issues with, and my mom thought it was just because I was like a kid and didn't feel like cleaning. What was I talking about? That literally is my ADHD showing, Jesus. Anyway, yeah, so I would just have piles everywhere. Like, I remember this specific table that I had in my living room, and it just constantly had shit on it. My mom would ask me to clean it, and literally an hour later, all of it would be back. But if you asked me where anything is, I would know. Like, this is such a weird story, but when I first moved into where I live now, it took me a while to unpack shit, trauma, and when I packed stuff, I just threw shit in my laundry basket to move it over, because it was easier, because I wasn't moving like an hour. It was like 10 minutes. So I was like, okay, I'll just throw this shit in here and pack it. Never did. I still have pads at the bottom of my laundry bin. So when I start my period, I'm like, oh wait, where are my pads? I'm like, they're in my laundry bin. So I know where they are, but most normal people will be like, why don't you put those somewhere? And I'm like, I don't know. And I just cleaned out my drawer yesterday, like are already filling up with shit again, and I just fucking cleaned them. And it's just an issue of we just can't be organized. And I really want to. Like I go to people's houses, I'm like, how the fuck do you do this? But I just my brain can't do it. And I can do it, but it won't last. So it's like, why am I wasting 2 hours putting all the shit away and for me to fuck it up? And that's another thing too is time management. So I don't have the time management issue where I'm late all the time. I have the time management issue of getting stuff done or the time management issue of not really realizing how long it takes me to do something. So, for example, I have to set timers for myself, especially if I'm like doing homework or something, because in my mind, I'm like, oh, I have a very all or nothing brain, and that's also a very big sign of ADHD, which I didn't know. So I'm like, if I don't sit here and do all of this, then I might as well not do it. So I have to set timers for myself when I'm doing like a lot of homework. Be like, okay, Kyla, your brain could probably focus for about 15 minutes. So we're going to do 15 minutes of work. You're going to take a break. And then we're going to come back. Because if I don't do that, I hyper focus and I will sit there for the whole fucking day just doing homework. And it's creepy because it's hard to like snap me out of it. Like, I don't have anybody to snap me out of it. My cat will, who's like, bitch, you've been sitting there for a long time. And I'm like, oh my God, it's 5 o'clock. What have I been doing? Another one, not being able to follow verbal instructions. Like, people tell me, like, especially at work, they're like, okay, Kyla, I work at a hospital. So it's like, at least I kind of know what I'm doing most of the time. But it's like, can you grab this, and this, and this, and this? And I walk away and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they said. Even if they say it's slow and people get frustrated with me because I ask like 80 times, I'm like, one more time. Or I'm like, can you please write it down? Because I'm not following anything you're saying. And it's so fucking annoying. And yeah. And one thing I really struggle with is ADHD paralysis, which I didn't know was a thing. And I remember explaining this to my doctor, like before I got into therapy. I was like, I literally sit there and I want to get up, but I can't. And they're like, oh, she's like a teenager. It's just being a teenager. Like, you're being lazy. And I'm like, no, like, I want to get up, but I cannot physically get myself up. And when I told this to my recent psychiatrist, she was like, that's ADHD paralysis. It's literally where your brain is like done and you can't move. It's kind of like if you think of like sleep paralysis, but you're awake, that's very similar. It's so annoying because it's like I want to do everything, but my body's like, Kyla, your plate is fucking over full. Sit the fuck down. And I can't do anything. And since I've got on meds, it's been kind of helpful, but at the same time, I still have my moments. And also, people with ADHD procrastination. I do my best work the night before anything, and I've always done this. I'm normally ahead on most things, but when it comes to papers, I love writing papers. Ironically, I write my best papers the night before it's due, or the day it's due, like a couple hours before the fucking they shut off the turn in thing. And another thing with an organization is I can never write down in a goddamn fucking planner. And I've had therapists in the past who are like, Kyla, your life would be so much easier if you would write shit down. And I'm like, okay, so I would buy planners out of the ass, notebooks, journals. I can't. I can't do it. I don't know what it is. And they're like, you keeping all your points and shit in your head doesn't work. So I try to use my phone, but I literally can't write anything down. Like it's the thought of writing it down stresses me out more than just trying to remember everything for some reason. And my mom's the same way, and she also has ADHD. So they told me that was a thing. And my therapist suggested getting like an open face like planner, like the desk ones, and those are really good because if you close something, us with ADHD, out the window. That's the same thing. My mom used to get mad. Like I would go grocery shopping, and anything that was not in the first row of the fridge didn't exist to me. And I still to this day have to throw out so much food because if it's buried or behind something, it's not there. And then I buy the same fucking thing every week because I don't register that there's something there. Things that I like to do, I have to leave them out, which is hard with a cat that likes to knock shit off of everything. Because if I don't leave it out, it doesn't exist to me. So like I won't do it. So like I have a bin next to my bed of all of my art stuff. So it's all in one place. I just did this recently. So if I'm like, I want to draw, all my pens and stuff are in there. Or I want to paint, all of it's in there. So that way I don't have to go digging around and that'll make me not want to do it. I'm so fucking itchy. like I love nature, but I can't do bugs. Like I'm at this park where you can like stand on the rocks and there's like a pretty stream, and I was like, oh my god, this is perfect for me to sit. With ants all over it, and then it rains, so there's water. But I don't really care about the water that much because I'm not that far from home to go change. But like I don't want to get eaten by ants, so yeah. But yeah, the main things that really my psychiatrist noticed was the hyper focus, the struggling in like math and stuff, and the exhaustion, because that's why people with ADHD are often on like stimulants, because the way I try to describe it is when I'm at work. Okay, so let's say I get to work at 8 o'clock. By noon, I'm my energy gone. And it's because our brain has to work so much harder to do simple tasks that we tire out so easily. So I've been on a trial of so many different meds trying to get me through fucking 12 o'clock, because I would hit that wall and I would just turn into a bitch. Like, to put that, like, point blank period, I just wanted to crawl in a hole. And it didn't matter if I slept 12 hours. It didn't matter if I slept 5 hours. I felt the same every day, the same fucking time every day. And if I'm at home, it's like 3 o'clock and I just crash. And I was on meds for a while that really helped me. And then I started getting used to it, and I hit that wall of medication where it just started getting earlier and earlier. So it would start at 3 o'clock, and then it would be like 2 o'clock, and then like noon, and then some days I would be crashed out by 10 a.m. And I used to be one of those people that would like stay up all night, even with working and going to school, and it's like it's pulling teeth for me to not take a nap after going to the store. So yeah, but I'm on some meds now that seem to be helping. But it just, I like that we're in a society now that ADHD isn't just like the, oh my god, it's that kid that can't sit still. Like, yes, I fidget, but if you met me in person, you would be like, she doesn't have fucking ADHD, because I don't, it's not, it's in here, unfortunately. And so it's very hard for people to understand, because I forget a lot of things. I literally, if I think I made the podcast about my tooth situation where I literally got antibiotics. I was also in excruciating pain, and you know when you're in pain, you don't really think about things. You're just like whatever. So I got home from the pharmacy, took my meds, and set them somewhere, and I lost them, and I had to call and get another prescription. Luckily, it wasn't like a controlled substance, so they were like, okay, I get it. And they know me because I have a lot of dental issues, so they're like, yeah, it's fine. And then I found them yesterday, so that was fun. But it's shit like that. Like, I'm constantly losing things, constantly forgetting things, and um I literally got diagnosed at fucking 24. My mom got diagnosed at 50 something. So it's just annoying that we had to like suffer, you know, because I would have done so much better in school if I had accommodations. But they were like, at this time when I was in like elementary school, if you didn't have the I'm jumping off the walls, they didn't give a fuck. So like my parents went through hell trying to get help for me because I could not pass math, and fuck it, it just sucked. They did some things to help me, but I just got accommodations literally 2 days ago for college. Literally, it took me 25 fucking years to get accommodations. So now I have extra time on tests. I have extra help because I've had to retake so many classes because the teachers think I'm just not trying, even though I'd be in my fucking room crying for hours trying to figure shit out. And then I would get tutoring, and the tutor, I don't even know what to tell the tutor because I'm like, I don't know what I don't know. Like, can you reteach it to me? And a lot of professors, they don't do visuals or like activities. Luckily, I've had a couple that have, but it was in classes I was already okay in. But the classes that I struggle in, they're like, here, let me read from the slide for an hour. And I'm like, I can't do this. Everybody's different though. It's like a spectrum. So like my mom's more on like the hyperactive end, where she can't sit still. I can sit still for hours. I don't care if I don't move. But yeah, another thing is I just feel guilty for resting a lot. Like if I rest, even if it doesn't matter. I could have worked 12 hours and I go home and I'm like, I need to do 20 things. My mom's like, you just worked all day? Sit the fuck down. But in my head, I'm like, I need to do the dishes. I need to do this. I need to clean my room. And she's like, literally, that can wait till tomorrow. So I struggle with that. And I feel like that's also a time management thing. And I was going to make a video about that too. But this is just turning into self help, which is like, what I like to listen to, but I don't like how textbooky a lot of the like podcasts are, so I wanted to make my own. So here we are. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I don't know how long these are going to be. Again, my attention span is yay big, so I can't guarantee that I can make hour-long videos. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to follow me on TikTok, I post a lot about my cat. He has thumbs. He's a brat. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one, hopefully. Peace out.